What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream, people. We are fighting our way through the international break. We're nearly there, 48 hours until we're back watching Arsenal play football, people. And it is Thursday, so yeah, 5:30 on Saturday, Bournemouth against Arsenal. Big up to everyone locked in. Hope you're well. Make sure you hit the like button if you can. Let's get 1,000 likes and subscribe if you haven't already. We got some things. I know I've had a few quiet days over the past week, but we're lining up some things over the next week or so. You're going to see some upgrades and some stuff happen on the channel. But you need to be subscribed in order to be in with a chance of competing. You'll see when all this comes to light anyway, people. But listen, big up to everyone locked in. Hope everyone's well in the community. Hope you're all well. International football is over for another month. I don't understand 3 international breaks in 3 months. It's just ridiculous, really. Like, why? I do think they need to do what Arsene Wenger says. Take a 4-week break and play all the international games and just get them over with. I'm sick of it. I am sick of watching international football. And we will do a member stream as well this week. Don't worry, we'll squeeze one in. It might even be Sunday night. We could even do tomorrow, actually. Might make sense to do tomorrow after the stream, late afternoon. So don't worry, we'll get that done. But big up to everyone locked in. International football is so boring. I've got to be honest, man. And I know I harp on about this, but I just think football at the moment is in such a strange, I don't know, like, football's in a really strange period for me where I'm almost confused by football at the moment. Well, I think about football now, and again, I'm doing the back in my day thing, which makes you sound really old because our parents were saying that, yeah, but when Maradona and Pele back in our day, and now I'm saying it, but like, I look at Brazil and I'm like, Brazil don't look like Brazil anymore. The only one that looks Brazilian is probably Vinicius. But, you know, back in the day, you used to watch Brazil and you knew someone was getting nutmegged. They're flicking the ball over someone's head. You're going to see step-overs galore. You were watching France. You might get Zidane, Henry, Anelka. You know, there were world beaters everywhere. Now I'm watching Kolo Muani and who else have they got? You know, Rabiot in midfield. You watch, I don't know. It just football feels a lot different. I just think systems and overcoaching is holding football back massively, completely holding the game back. You know, there's such a lack of freedom to express yourself in the game right now, and I think that's one of the biggest things. I do think that the modern game is overcoached. I really do. I don't see enough free spirits anymore. It ended with Ronaldinho. I do think that Neymar was going to be the evolution of him. But, you know, leaving Barca, going to PSG, it stopped it. But, listen, football goes in, you know, it comes full circle. Maybe we get back to a period of time in the next couple of years. But, you know, the other night I stayed up, I'm watching Brazil. I'm like, I feel like I'm watching West Brom. This don't feel like Brazil. Like, it's crazy. But I think now we're in this period of time where you've got to be athletic, you've got to be physically strong, and you've got a stat pad. And that's it now. DV said I blame Pep. And you know what? A lot of people blame Pep. But I always say this. Pep doesn't force anybody to copy his blueprint at the end of the day. Pep's got his blueprint that he took from Cruyff and he maybe edited it slightly to how he wanted to do it. That doesn't mean everybody has to copy him. We don't all have to be Pep. And I feel like 15 years ago, everybody didn't copy Ferguson or copy, you know, Mourinho or Wenger. We all had our own sort of individual style. But nowadays, everybody's trying to do like Pep. We're all playing out from the back and yeah, but it is what it is. It's the modern game. What can you do? You got to get on with it. Curtis, bro, saw your video greeting Havertz on tour. It was shameless settings. Stay the same. It was shameless. I said, what? Striker, yeah? 20 goals. He said, yeah. I said, all right, cool. Say no more. I said it, bro. I said it. You know me, people. You know me. I'll be the first one shamelessly celebrating him if he scores 20 goals and we win the league. saying, I always rated him. So let's not hide from that. Big up everyone locked in. E-Ross said Pep Coachiola. If I was a manager, I would actually look at Pep and think, okay, there are things in his game and the way he coaches that are brilliant, but I would actually try and do something slightly different to him. If you look at the managers that have actually stopped Pep from being successful over the last 10 years, it's the managers that have had a different style. Ancelotti is very much about individual brilliance and freedom. Conte, 3-5-2, wing-backs, defensive structure and discipline. Mourinho, when he was at Real Madrid, similar, counter-attack, defensive structure. And Jurgen Klopp, who was rock and roll, high press, quick football. So everybody that's gave Pep a big problem is a manager that has actually had a slightly different system to him. When has somebody actually said, I'm going to try and play like Pep and I'm going to outdo Pep? Like I said, Karate Kid ain't going to beat up Mr. Miyagi, people. He taught him everything he knew. You know what I'm saying? So Arteta, I do think is slightly changing it, but still the blueprint is very much Pep Guardiola, But anyway, let's hope we get the better of him. I think we've become a little bit more solid, bit more dark arts than Pep over the last couple of years with our defensive structure. But we'll see. The blueprint is similar, but I think he's made a few tweaks. But let's see if we win anything at the end of the season. If you've been on social media over the last couple of days, the English media are in meltdown. Oh, no. Foreign manager. He can't be foreign. Oh. Isn't it funny, people? On Monday, England will link with Pep Guardiola. England were linked with Pep Guardiola on Monday, saying that they'd approached his agent about taking the England job. Everyone's celebrating. As you can imagine, it's Pep. Anyone would take Pep. And then on, what day is it now? On Tuesday, they announced Thomas Tuchel as the manager. And all of a sudden, it's a problem because he's not English. Jamie Carragher, Gary Neville, Stan Collymore, all these guys. To be honest, it makes me sick. It makes me sick, people. Like, I don't understand sometimes the media in this country. I think the media in England is some of the worst in the entire world of football. It's a joke. Now I get it. They're going from the fact that England and Germany had a war 70, 80, 90 years ago. And they've still got an issue with it. Would Argentina hire a Brazilian coach? I get it. Cool. But I'm not being funny, my friend. England have not won anything since 1966. Black and white television, blah, blah, blah. You ain't won a damn thing. The English media walk around like England, we won the World Cup 4 years ago and 3 Euros. And you ain't won nothing. You ain't won a damn thing. Like you just said there, they are the Tottenham of international football. You've had English managers, bro. Good English managers and bad English managers. Venables, Keegan, Bobby Robson. They were good English managers, in my opinion, to be honest. Couldn't win anything. Weren't even reaching finals. McLaren, Wally with the brolly, although I defend him now. Steve McLaren's Yardie Army. Jamaica will be in World Cup 2026. Clip it. Seal it up. But he didn't even qualify. And then you've had Hodgson, experienced manager, shambolic manager. And you went with Southgate, the people's choice, Mr. Nice Guy. Waste man in a waistcoat, they called him. So what do you want? You went for Big Sam, he took brown envelopes under the table. What are we doing here? What English manager do you want, my friend? This is the question I ask people online. So which English manager do you want? Oh, Eddie Howe? Graham Potter? Who? What, you think they're winning you a Euros, a World Cup? Come on, man. Take what you can get. This guy's a good manager. I don't care what anyone says. Champions League winner, French League winner, German Cup winner. He is better than any English manager that is available at this moment in time. England are Tottenham, bro. England are Tottenham right now. They are Spursy as hell, bro. They can't win a damn thing right now. So I don't understand the whole up in arms thing. Lay, do you know the stat I couldn't believe? I tweeted it. Somebody sent it to me. I said, nah, that's true. I fact-checked it. It was right. An English manager's never won the Premier League. An English manager has never won the Premier League. I couldn't believe it. I said, nah, surely one of them. George Graham, Scottish. Ferguson, Scottish. Wenger, French. Ancelotti, Italian. Ranieri, Italian. Mourinho, Portuguese. Conte, Italian. Pep, Spanish. Pellegrini, Chile. No English managers won the Premier League. Mancini, Italian. They can't win. They can't even win a league, let alone win a World Cup. Do me a favour. Let me tell you, England are lucky to have him as manager. That's how far I'll go with it. They should be celebrating this appointment. Dalglish, yeah, at Blackburn. That's a great point. And Klopp, German as well. They should be celebrating this appointment. You've gone from Southgate to Thomas Tuchel. And the media are crying about it. It's wild. It's wild. But the first game he loses, you know what they'll be doing. The xenophobic media is just wild in this country. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Let's see. Let's see. To be honest, I'm not that invested in the national team anyway. My focus is very much on Arsenal. As I've said before, I will watch them in a major, and I'll probably do watch-alongs, but I'm nowhere near as invested as I am with Arsenal. Yeah, just give it to Mike Bassett. Give it to Mike Bassett. You're right, Cody Mystified. The first loss he gets, you will see. You will see the headlines. It'll be disgusting. It'll be absolutely disgusting. But it is what it is. Southgate to Man United written in the stars. I would celebrate that. Did you listen to Carragher and Gary Neville? I did. I thought it was embarrassing. I thought it was absolutely embarrassing considering Gary Neville spent his whole career with a Scottish manager in Ferguson, and Carragher's most success came from Gerard Houllier and Rafa Benitez. But you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, and I get it. Fits English managers have won trophies before the Premier League, but you know, we're talking about 30 plus years now. See Foden in Coronation Street. He probably didn't turn up, mate. You can't do anything without Pep mollycoddling him. 1K in the chat already. Big up everyone locked in. Hope you're well. Appreciate your support as always. And get the likes up. Let's get 1,000 likes and let's get into it. Let's talk Arsenal. Enough of the England chat. Tommy Tuchel's English army. I actually think he'll do well. But he'll have no support from the media. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments before we get into it. Don said, Curtis, imagine if there were not YouTube sports, these media would be brainwashing everyone. Do you know what? YouTube is amazing for the fact that it's enabled people like myself and like any of you. Because, listen, a lot of you come on the member stream, and I've said before, like, yo, you should have a YouTube channel, how well you talk. There's a lot of you, by the way, which you should. And I hope some of you do. And I always say, if you ever create a channel, promote it in the comments. But it's taken the power out of the media's hand. And the media is corrupt. It's the reality. They're in the pockets of certain clubs, certain managers, certain agents. They only tell you certain things. This is the beauty of YouTube. It's given us a platform to say, actually, mate, I don't want to watch Sky Sports for 1 hour to hear 2 minutes of conversation about the club that I support. I can watch Sky Sports for the next hour. They'll talk about Arsenal for 2 or 3 minutes. Where actually you can go on YouTube, type in a content creator that you like and watch maybe an hour of content surrounded about your club and get factual information. That's the beauty of YouTube. Junior said, I got a channel. Promote that. I told you, community settings. You got a channel, you got a business, you got a website, something proper. Promote that. Community settings, people. Get it in there. Mainstream media has YouTube channels. That tells you how important it is. They're all doing the same thing now. They're all setting up podcasts. They're all trying to do what YouTube is doing. Where 3 or 4 years ago, they were criticizing YouTube. Now they're creating YouTube channels. Why should I listen to somebody online that don't know what they're talking about, you know, an ex-player that don't know nothing about the club, when you can find out the information yourself? Big up Matt, he said, lots of brown envelopes being passed around in the mass media, too many people compromised. 100%. 100%, bro. These pundits, they'll only say certain things about certain people. It's the reality of the situation. I've said it before. People go, oh, you know, too critical or too this. Yeah, I probably took money out of my own pocket, people, by criticizing certain parts of the media and stuff like that. You know? Don said, Curtis, I realised I can't do YouTube, especially when Arsenal loses. I get too emotional. You probably do great. You probably do great. Emotion. You've seen me, bro. I've been there myself. Shirt ripping and all sorts. It happens, man. That's what I said before, people. Sometimes, it's football. Football is the only place where you can act crazy and get away with it. Watching football. We turn into big children watching the game, but it's the beauty of it. Big up Biggs, who said, Big C, your Leicester watch-along was legendary. Whenever anyone gets on my nerves, I now say you should go back to playing centre-back for West Ham. Sorry, Deckers. I feel bad. I really like Declan Rice, but you know, like when you're in that zone of frustration, watching a player or your team, you can say anything. Sometimes I watch back the things I'm saying. I'm like, raw. Imagine I got to face this person on tour or, and I said that about him. But, I'm shameless with it. I'll just pretend it never happened. And just, you just get on with it, people. Embrace it. Embrace the shameless nature of being a football fan. It's the reality of the situation, Anyway, let's move on. And let's see. We need to make a compilation. I do. Definitely need to. Right, let's get into the Arsenal news, people. A bit of transfer news, bit of injury news. That'll get us through the hour, and then we'll be out of here. Some good bits of news to talk about today. Let's start with transfers. Let's talk about this man, Alexander Isak. He has basically stalled on a new contract with Newcastle. I've read the whole story because I thought I need to see all of it before. Basically, he's got 3 years left on his contract. So he does have still a little bit of time. So maybe this story's being exaggerated a little bit because I don't think Newcastle are under pressure to sell him with him having 3 years left on his contract. However, in the summer, when I look at what Eddie Howe was saying, he was speaking with a lot of confidence that Isak was going to sign a new contract. However, Isak now apparently has asked for £250,000 a week and also wants an affordable release clause put into the contract. Newcastle are reluctant to put that release clause in there because they know if it's at a price that's accessible, he could go at any given moment. So they're worried about the whole situation with this release clause, and they've stalled, and he has not signed a contract as of yet. Alexander Isak. So the story is Arsenal target Alexander Isak has put clubs on high alert by stalling on signing a new contract with Newcastle. The striker is demanding to become Newcastle's highest paid player, 250 grand a week, along with the inclusion of a release clause, and he wants the release clause to be a value that he feels is affordable to clubs in and around Europe. Now, I'm going to be honest with Isak. Isak, a year ago, it was 100% get it done at all costs for me. I thought he was the one. Number 14 shirt, game changer for this football club. If we were talking about percentages now, I'm probably at 75% with him for two reasons. Number one, he's becoming very injury prone, which is always a concern. We have a major problem with injuries as it is. Never mind spending big money on somebody that's already having injuries. Since 2022, since September 2022, which was about just over 2 years ago, he had a thigh injury that kept him out for 3.5 months. He missed 19 games. He then played the rest of that season. He came back in January. He then suffered a groin injury, was out for just over a month. He missed 8 games. He then had another groin injury in January of 2024. He missed 5 games. He was out for a month. He then broke his toe in September of this year, and he's currently out. He's been out for 32 days. So in the last 2 years, he's missed 37 games. in 2 years, and he's currently still injured. Now, that worries me. That worries me. Nothing to do with the ability. The ability's there. I don't doubt the ability for one moment. 3 muscular injuries and a broken toe. Broken toe was from a bad tackle, could happen to anybody. Not a major problem. Hamstring injury that kept him out for a month as well, and a knee injury that kept him out for a month just before he signed at Sociedad. A lot of muscular injury problems. So I take it down to 70%. Why? He's injury prone. And the second one, that guy over there at Sporting Lisbon, is the reality of the situation. He then puts pressure on this deal. An injury hit player coming to Arsenal for a record amount of money or huge amount of money worries me. I feel like right now Gyökeres is the guy. You're right, Don. 37 games, basically a whole season, and that's in 2 years. So in the last 2 years, he's pretty much missed a year of football. That worries me. Both Swedish, and you're right. Let's get a poll up. Gyökeres or Isak? Because I think they're the two that they're looking at. And do you know what? Sesko's in there as well. Sesko, do you know what? Let's put Sesko in there. Not that I want Sesko. I called him Benjamin Tesco. I don't want him. I'd rather have Isak or Gyökeres. But at the moment, the 3 that we're being heavily linked with. What striker would you sign for Arsenal? Gyökeres, Isak, or Sesko? I'm going Gyökeres. He's missed 3 games in 3 seasons. He's absolutely on fire. I think he's the one. He's got a release clause. You don't even need to negotiate. And you get him to this country. They celebrate everything. Duran I could have added, actually. But that link was not a great one. I think the other 3 are more likely. Matt said Gyökeres today and 3 times on a Sunday. I was not... At the back end of last season, I wasn't that enthusiastic about Gyökeres, and the reason I wasn't is because I hadn't watched him play much in terms of like live for 90 minutes. I'd seen really highlights of him, and I don't like to judge a player on highlights. I've watched him a few times this season purposely, and I think he's the one. I think he's a gunman. He scores goals, he's movement, he's quick, he's aggressive, he's played in the Championship, he's hardly ever injured. He's the one. It's Gyökeres season, people. I'm telling you. Isak last season, yeah, man, it was your time, bro. It's Gyökeres season. For me. But I don't want to influence anyone on the poll. More polls than Diddy's oil. Well, you're not wrong, bro. We love a poll in this chat. Don't think we will get any at the end of the day. If we don't, we're a disgrace. Tom said Portuguese league is weak. Darwin Núñez bang there too. I agree, but I do think that Gyökeres is technically more gifted. As I said, I think Darwin was a pace and power merchant who hit a hot streak. But I think Gyökeres has the talent, the hold-up play, the link-up play, the movement. He's scoring goals for Sweden. He scored in the Champions League. He did it in the Championship. He's doing it at every level. Isak is fit for the 14. Listen, Isak in the 14, if you could keep him fit, he's definitely a baller that I would like to see at Arsenal. But these injuries are concerning me. And he's playing for a Newcastle team that aren't even in the Champions League, that aren't getting to the latter stages of the cup competitions. So how does he then come to Arsenal where we're playing 50-odd games a season? Because we're in the Prem, 38, we're in the Champions League, we're getting to the latter stages of tournaments. How is that going to work? I just don't think it works. So, listen, beggars can't be choosers. If you gave me Isak now for 80 million, I'll edit this stream out and say Isak was the one I always wanted. But for me, it just feels like Gyökeres is the one. It feels like he's the one. But listen, this will be interesting. If Newcastle get in a situation where they go, look, he's not signing a new deal and we're going to sell him, I think Arsenal would be in for him. But my thing with Isak, if they were to go for Isak, is the price has to be reduced. They were talking about 100 to 120 million. He might end up down at 80 million. But again, Gyökeres has an 80 million release clause. So why buy an injury-prone player for 80 mil when you can buy him. But maybe the fact that Isak has done it in the Premier League makes him more... maybe Arsenal would be more motivated to get him as he's already done it in the Premier League, where there may still be that doubt over Gyökeres that, you know, he hasn't done it in this league and Portuguese league is not the strongest, so they may still favour. And we know what Arsenal are like. They're a club that seem to... They want that number one priority. When they didn't get Sesko, they didn't go for a plan B. It was like, we want him and no one else. So it is interesting. It is interesting. But let me know what you guys think in the poll. Let me read a few of your comments. The Isak ship has sailed. Last summer was the window. Newcastle offered Isak for Liverpool, says Beer. That's interesting. I never heard about that. Sesko is the best fit for the way we play. I don't know about that, you know. He's 6'5". We do put a lot of crosses in with Saka, but I still think Gyökeres would do well. Getting a striker in January is the priority. I hope so, but I'm just not sure we will. I really hope we do. If he's injury prone, he'll fit in. Fit in perfect, mate. Come to Arsenal and just get injured. Adebayo said, big up Curtis, longest time, G. Smash the likes, you frauds. Come on, City. See, that was a really nice comment, and then you said that foolishness at the end. You know? That's you know what? You've shown me respect there, but for those 3 words at the end, you're gonna hold a 3-minute timeout just to gather your thoughts, really. City, like, come on, bro. I'd have more respect for you genuinely if you was a United or Liverpool fan, because I'd say, okay, at least he's caught up in the, you know, the history and the prestige, but coming in saying, come on, City, you know, I'd rather you as a Leicester City fan, bro, you know what I mean? At least they genuinely won the league. But anyway, let me not say too much before I irritate the 4 Manchester City fans. I said 3 last time, so 4 is actually a compliment. Leahy said, Gyökeres is 6'2", he's not short. Gyökeres ticks so many boxes. 6'2", quick, can finish with both feet, great link-up play. Get him in. Nath, big up, bro. How are you, man? Long time. He said, yo, Curtis, how you doing, bro? All good. Hope you're well. Isak is not good enough so far this season. I mean, I don't know if he's not good enough. He's not on the pitch. He's injured all the time. I still think he's a good player, but the injuries have definitely maybe moved us away from him slightly. Martin said, information and entertainment. You know what time it is, people? Information and entertainment. When you leave this stream, you should have learnt something or laughed about something. If you didn't, I haven't done my job properly, people. Fit said, VG9 is the truth. Arteta is the problem. Let me tell you, when Fitz is complimenting you, you definitely are the truth, because he does not compliment easy, and he's saying Gyökeres is the truth. Get him to the carpet. Break the curse of the number 9, Victor Gyökeres. Or do we give him the 14? I would actually retire the 14 shirt. I think it reached a level that can never be touched. You know, like in basketball, if you're... Let me get my words out. What was I actually trying to say? If you're Chicago Bulls, you don't wear the 23 shirt. Like Michael Jordan wore the 23. It's only going downhill from that point. You retire it and hang it up. To me, once Thierry wore that 14, it's game over, in my opinion. Like, you don't keep running with it anymore. You just got to stop it in its tracks. We've already watered down that 14 shirt so much. You know, Theo Walcott. Aubameyang held it down for a couple years, and then even he started moving mad. But I blame Arteta a little bit on that. And then, you know, when it ended up in Eddie and Nketiah's hands, it was just beyond a joke, to be honest. It was just ridiculous. So, yeah, there's a statue outside. You shouldn't be wearing the number 14 shirt at Arsenal ever again. Simple as that. 23 is off the market in Chicago, 24 in LA. Exactly. You ain't wearing Kobe's number. You ain't wearing Michael Jordan's number. It's as simple as that. Imagine Bronny James wearing Kobe Bryant's number. Like, come on. Let's think about it. Retire it and hang it in the Louvre, people. That's what you do. But hey, I think clubs don't like retiring numbers in football. It's not really something they do too much. I think Napoli, didn't Napoli retire the Maradona shirt number 10? I'm not sure. Yeah, Barca didn't retire Messi's number. Bronny is trash. You know what? I know we're going off football, but I think with Bronny, man, we've got to understand with Bronny. Bronny's probably not even ready to be there. I know we're talking about basketball. Some of you are not even interested probably, but I love basketball. I look at Bronny and think you're not even supposed to be in the NBA right now, bro. You needed another year before you came to the NBA. We know why he's there. We know what he's there for. So I feel it's almost like work experience, bro. If he gets one bucket in the game, I think people are happy with it. You know, a little layup, man are like, oh my God, he got points. You know, it's crazy. He ain't ready to be there. He's there because his dad basically runs that whole franchise. So, you know, I'm not looking at Bronny and thinking, yo, Bronny ain't good enough. Like, yo, you're there because your dad runs the show. All they need this season is the alley-oop. You know, where Bron throws it up and Bronny dunks it. That'll be the picture of years to come. You know, that's all they need to do and it'll be game over. But Dre ain't having none of it. He said he's trash. But Bronny's there just for, you know, for his dad. Bronny is a G League player. Exactly. 2 points per game, my Lakers in the muddy. You're a Lakers fan. I'll be honest, right? And people always ask me what basketball team I support. And I'm a bit on the fence. I'll be totally honest with you. Growing up, the NBA team I always liked was the New York Knicks. But imagine growing up as an Arsenal fan when we were in our banter era and a New York Knicks fan who haven't won a championship in how long? People let me know in the comments. I liked him because Patrick Ewing was Jamaican. I loved Carmelo Anthony. New York hip-hop was my favourite, so I always liked New York Knicks. But then I kind of like Miami Heat when LeBron went there because LeBron and D Wade and all that. I love that period of basketball in the Heat. So I'm kind of a Knicks fan, but I'm kind of a Heat fan. So I'm not a proper, you know, fan in that sense. But I like them both. But Knicks were just a joke. So I kind of more lean towards the Heat. But then the Heat aren't very good either. So yeah, man, it ain't easy, man. It ain't easy, as Saeed said. Guile said 160 million for Kudus and Gyökeres release clause. You sign them to Arsenal win the title. Guile. Lawrence said Gyökeres scored 2 goals against Porto under 3 minutes coming off the bench last season. And you'll remember how much we struggled to score 1 goal against them in 2 games. He's the guy, man. He's the guy. Knicks are the Spurs of basketball. Yeah, you're right. I'll be honest, like, in my wardrobe, I had Knicks jerseys. Man. You know what I mean? Carmelo Anthony and that. And I just New York. I was all New York hip-hop. You know, the Locks and Mobb Deep and 50 and Nas. I was all New York. Cruz is a Boston Celtics fan, which upsets me. It upsets me because I don't like the Celtics. You know, I always heard this reputation how they had this, you know, racial problem within their fan base, but you know they are a good team and they did win the championship. And he's running with this Jason Tatum high top, so he's a Celtics fan, which is an absolute disgrace. The Millwall of the NBA, but yeah, I don't actually know how he became a fan. He was like, all my friends are Lakers fans. They're all wearing LeBron jerseys, so I'm gonna go with Boston Celtics. Crazy. Right, let's move on before it ends up being a basketball stream. I'm definitely going to do basketball streams this season, late night. I love basketball, man. We got to do that. Right, let's move on. This was an interesting one this morning. Angel Gomes, former Manchester United youth team player, who is now over there at Lille in France, and he obviously has been in the England team for these recent games. Centre midfielder, Lee Carsley's been starting him, and he's out of contract in the summer and has basically said that he will not be extending his contract at Lille. And Arsenal are being linked with him. Now, I say hold this with caution. The link is coming from the Metro. Now, anybody who doesn't know what the Metro is, the Metro is a free newspaper that they hand out on the underground, the subway. So I think the ketchup in my fridge is a better source than the source that this has come from. However, we are being linked with him. What do you guys think? I just thought I'd do a little background check on him. He's very small, by the way. He's like 5'5". Very small. Boyhood Arsenal fan, apparently, which you would have never guessed. Played for Man United, came through their system. But he is from Edmonton in North London, and apparently he is an Arsenal fan, which always helps. 24 years of age. He turns 25 in August. He's been at Lille for 3 seasons, 24 games. Then he played 36, then he played 31. He's only scored 4 goals in 3 seasons. Deep lying playmaker. 16 assists in 3 seasons. What do you guys think about this one? You might have seen him playing for England in the last few games. I suppose the problem, I mean, technically he's good. I'm not sure about him. I'll be honest. I don't look at him and think, let's get him. I don't know. I don't know. He's a free. I suppose you could look at it and think, if you've got Rice, you've got Marino, you get rid of Jorginho, Partey, they're talking about new deal. Nah, probably not for me. I'll be honest. But it's the type of deal that you can see happening. It's the type of deal I could see happening. He's a free and he's English. So, you know, you've got to have so many English players in the squad. It could be a Jorginho replacement. I'll be honest, it could. You released Jorginho, you signed Angel Gomes for free. He's in the England squad. It's probably not bad. It's just, I always think, and correct me, I could be totally wrong with this. I think in the Premier League, to play in midfield, if you're that small, I think you've got to be exceptional. He's related to Nani. I didn't know that. I think if you're like 5'5" in the Premier League and you play centre mid, I think you've either got to be Santi Cazorla, where you're unbelievable on the ball and people can't get the ball off you, or you've got to be N'Golo Kante, where you hunt down anything that moves. I don't think this guy is either one of them. Yeah, Bernardo Silva, you know, those guys are like, they're magicians. It doesn't matter that they're tiny. They'll avoid you and they're so clever on the ball. I just look at Angel Gomes, I just think he's an okay player. He doesn't come to Arsenal and push us to any sort of level. Yeah, you bring him in for Jorginho, it's not terrible. He's 24. Technically, he is good. But there's no excitement with it. But again, it's Arsenal. Don't be surprised if a deal like this happened. We know that Arsenal love a bargain. We love a sale sticker. And this is a sale sticker. Free agent, 24, England international. I suppose he will get a decent move just based on the English tax, as Eros always says. So I'm not sure. For me, I wouldn't sign him. I think Arsenal need to sign a top quality player in midfield in the summer. To come in and really be a level changer in there. But I don't see it happening. But it's Arsenal. It's a bargain. So don't be surprised if it does happen, you know, because we love that kind of deal. You can imagine how they would sell that deal to us in the newspapers or in the press if we signed him. England international and blah, blah, blah. I'll be honest. We spoke about this the other day. Would you take this guy? And for those of you listening in, Labille, Paul Pogba, apparently wants to come back to the Premier League. He's a free agent. He can play from the beginning of March. Would any of you do it? End of the season. Imagine Rice, Pogba, Odegaard, midfield. Just saying. Just saying. Unreal on the ball. Nah, listen, I don't expect this one. Do you know what? Let's change the poll. Because I think this one is worth the poll. I get it. I think the majority of you would say no. But Gyökeres 72%, 21% Isak. And then what we got? 7% Benjamin Tesco. You watch. I'm going to diss Sesko for the next year and we'll end up signing him, won't we? Labille Pogba. On his day, world class. Off his day, I would say he's a liability. Would you sign Pogba on a free? I'm putting it out there. I actually want to know your opinion on it. And what I want to know as well is, give me the explanation of why you wouldn't take him. What is the reason you wouldn't take him? Because I don't think it's ability. It can't be ability, because I would say he's got more ability than a lot of our midfielders on the ball. I'm not even... It's not ability. It's probably the... Number one, the attitude. Mourinho said he was poison in the dressing room. And also, I think he's lazy off the ball. And Arsenal are very efficient and hard-working. You know, it just... But is he going to come back and have a point to prove and be like, listen, I'm going to show you lot what I'm about? I don't know. Let me read your comments. I want to see what you guys think. Tenacity, pressing and defensive work, I agree. I agree. You ain't getting much of that from him. After a year out, how much would he ask for a week? That's another point, but I don't think he's going to have loads of options unless a Saudi club coming for him. Zhao said, Rice, Pogba, Odegaard. Bro, listen, let me just say one thing. I don't think there's any chance in the world that Arsenal sign Paul Pogba. I don't think Arteta would go anywhere near him. He's emotionally scarred from Aubameyang, right? He ain't going to buy him. However, I'm just saying, he's saying he wants to come back to the Prem. He's out of contract. We are short in midfield. And he did say he was an Arsenal fan. He loved Thierry Henry. Listen, I'm not saying that I would sign him. What I'm saying is, and people might not want to hear it, he's better on the ball than most of our midfielders. I'm not going to go into individual names, but I'm just talking pure ability. If I was a striker and I was making a run, who would I rather was on the ball? Declan Rice, Partey, Jorginho or Paul Pogba? Who's most likely to play that pass that cuts your defence apart? It's this guy. But I'll be honest, he ain't coming to Arsenal. He's got pure drama. Yeah, Declan Rice, mate, you would have to double the amount of running. I'm kind of intrigued to see how many of you would actually take a chance on him. I know most of you will say no. Attitude not great, hasn't played for a year, wants big wages, there's been reports he's been toxic in the dressing room, work rate off the ball isn't great, but he's got that one thing that we lack in midfield. It's that ability to split your team in half with a pass, and he can shoot from distance. Matt said a stopgap for a few months. That ship has sailed. He will humble himself now. You would like to think so. Partey is the only centre mid. Paul Pogba, arguably not a better ball player than. Honestly, I'm not joking. Take him for a year with an extension on the end if he performs. Yes, but short-term deal. There's a few of you. I'll leave the poll there. We'll leave that poll there. More polls than an ATL strip club, people. More polls than Diddy's mansion. Full of oil. We'll leave that one there. Just for a bit of controversy, really. Paul Abil Pogba to the carpet. But listen, Angel Gomes is the one that we are actually being linked with. So we'll see what happens with him. Personally, I don't want him. I don't want him. Don said rather sign Cruz. Well, it'd be great. Be great. Get Cruz to the carpet. He said he is wise now. Maybe he's changed. Idan said when we could have signed Rabiot for free, we passed on the opportunity. Pogba is not a different case. Curtis with his bad apples. I don't think we'll get him anyway. What about the Miami strip clubs, Big C? Always ATL. We can do Miami. Is there more in Miami than ATL? I always had this thing of ATL. People, when I go to America, they always tell me about Atlanta. So that's why I say Atlanta. I need to go Atlanta, by the way. I need to go Atlanta. A lot of Arsenal fans in Atlanta who were in Miami. And they were saying, yo, Atlanta, hopefully Arsenal go America again. King of Diamonds. Hey, Dre, behave yourself. That's why you was trying to put KOD and then you just wrote it right. Curtis, Pogba or Rashford? I'm still taking Rashford. I would still take Rashford. But Karos is fuming. He said, first Rashford, now Pogba, stop it. I'll leave it. ATL's wild. Yeah, man. The culture's strong there, man. Let's move on. Anyway, somebody that should be back, hopefully, this weekend, people, is Ben White. should be back from injury. Been out for a few weeks. We played him a couple of games where he wasn't fully fit. I'm going to be honest. I've had a bit of a... My sort of belief in Ben White has changed over the past few years. When we signed him and played him centre-back, I didn't think he was that good. I thought he was overrated. Then he went to right-back, and I thought, you're actually a good right-back. I actually think Thomas Tuchel should be recalling him. Not that he will play ahead of Trent, in my opinion, because I think Trent will play because of how good he is on the ball. We're in a time frame where he's kind of been pushed down the ladder a little bit because we're kind of thinking Calafiori and Timber. I still think Timber and Ben White is our best fullback pairing at the moment. Calafiori with time to get used to the Prem, the speed of the game. He may become the solution at left back. Timber may be the right back. But at the moment, I'm not fully convinced by Calafiori. When you've got games like Liverpool next weekend, Mo Salah plays right wing, I would probably rather see Ben White and Timber at fullback rather than Calafiori and Timber, because the way that wingers have skipped Calafiori in the first few games, I don't want to see Salah doing that to him. I would like to see Ben White at right back, Timber at left back. However, competition is a positive thing, and if Calafiori ends up being the guy, then he's the guy. So be it. Whatever makes Arsenal good is what we need. But he's back. Obviously, it's good that he doesn't play for England, because every international break, he gets a genuine break. He's been getting treatment. He's back, and he should be available maybe in the squad for the game against Bournemouth. I reckon Arsenal probably won't start him. I think they'll go Calafiori and Timber again. But obviously, we've got a Champions League game on Tuesday against Shakhtar and then Liverpool next weekend. So, listen, it's good that we've got a competition for places. A man said Ben White almost got the same complexion as you. Hey, that fake tan, bro. He loves it. He loves it. Listen, good to have him back. We need everybody back. Listen, Zinchenko's nearly back. Not the biggest fan of Zinchenko, but we need him back. We need all our options back. We want to have a good team and a good bench. So we need all these guys back from injury. Lonesome said, I agree, but Ben White gets ripped every time he plays against Matoma, so there is hope. And you're right. The one thing I've said about Ben White is that 1v1 against certain wingers, he struggles. Struggles against Matoma, struggles against Rashford. That Noah Lang caused him problems. I think because he's a centre-back, he's not used to always engaging 1v1 against wingers. Wingers tend to be a lot more direct nowadays than strikers. So I think he's still quite new when it comes to being a fullback. Trent ain't better on the ball than Rico Lewis or Reece James. I disagree. I think he's better than both. I don't think any of those two have got his passing range. And they certainly ain't better at set pieces. He put that free kick top corner like Beckham the other day. I think Trent on the ball is the best right back in the Prem, to be honest. Off the ball, we can have a discussion. Defensively, he's not amazing. He's okay, but he's not elite, definitely. I think on the ball, he's better than both of them. I think he's way better than both of them, to be honest. Major run of games on the horizon. We need all hands on deck, bro. Some of the games we got coming up, that week, mid-November, we've got Newcastle away, Inter Milan away, and then Chelsea away in the same week. It's a crazy week. Absolutely crazy. Dad bringing sons to the party. October is Black History Month. Figure. Hey, Bronny James settings, man. Man got him the deal. Big up, though. Big up. What's your thoughts on Black History Month? Is it something you should celebrate as an acknowledgement of what the culture's done in a positive way? Or is it a disrespectful token where they give you 4 weeks? How do you view it? I see a very mixed response to Black History Month, but it's interesting discussion. Go steal that picture, by the way. 50 Cent with Trump on the as the picture. Don't sign Pogba. We have a few players we want to sell. Come to West London. I've had enough of us signing Chelsea players, man. I don't want no more Chelsea players, that's for sure. Final story before we round up, and we'll end the Pogba poll as well. Monty said it's BS. Curtis always felt embarrassed. Token gesture, I would say. Eros said Black history should be every day. And I hear you. Here's a token. Here's a token. But yeah, it's a conversation we would have for a long time. Morgan Freeman said it best. You're going to relegate my history to a month. Say no more. Say no more. I think that's the best way of saying it, to be honest. Let's finish off with these two. Havertz and Partey. People, yeah, what's this thing? I think South London's Finest just said. I heard this, but I don't know anything about it. People saying that Raheem Sterling and Thomas Partey had some sort of argument. Anybody know any information about that? I'll be honest. I've seen people saying about it in the comments. I don't know anything about it. And they are both at Arsenal at the moment. So I have no idea. Does anybody have any info on that? I've looked online. I can't see anything about it. I thought it was made up. I thought they had a fight and Partey won. I mean, is that genuine? I don't know. I haven't read that book, Black Arsenal. No, I haven't. I don't know anything about that. I think it's jollof versus rice and peas. Hey, it's a constant argument in the culture. So maybe it was. Maybe that was the argument. I think it was made up. I haven't seen anything genuine about it. I've just seen people saying it. And you know they want to destabilise Arsenal, so I wouldn't even buy into it. Jollofi rice and peas is an absolute banger. By the way, yeah, Kai Havertz, who missed Germany duty with a knee issue, and Thomas Partey, who did not travel with Ghana due to an illness, are both expected to be available this weekend, which is good. We need everybody available. Bournemouth on Saturday. One thing I don't do, I never underestimate anybody in the Premier League because anything can happen. However, without sounding arrogant, without sounding... listen, just say it as it is. We should be beating Bournemouth. One thing I realised about England, when you have confidence or when you have arrogance, people don't like it in England. It's strange. It's like if you say, yo, we're going to beat them, we're going to batter them, people go, you can't say that. You're like, why not, bro? Bournemouth are not that good. We are good. We should go there and roll them over. You know? If I can't say Arsenal are going to go to Bournemouth and beat them, then something's wrong. Now, I understand football. You can lose to anyone and you look really stupid when you speak with confidence and you don't beat them. I expect Arsenal to roll Bournemouth over. I'm sorry. If we can't beat Bournemouth, something's seriously wrong. If Man City were playing Bournemouth this weekend, I'd say, yeah, 3-0. They'll roll them. Haaland hat-trick. I expect Arsenal to go there and roll them over. Simple as that. Go there. Bournemouth's got a nice beach, one of the best beaches in England. Smallest stadium. Go there and beat them. It's funny, though. I feel like it's an English thing sometimes. And I don't know. There might be other parts of the world. I feel like arrogance is disliked. Confidence is almost disliked. I expect Arsenal to go to Bournemouth and beat them comfortably. Simple as that. Simple as that. I'm not worried by them. But it is what it is. R.I.P. Liam Payne, never been a One Direction fan, but that was crazy. Apparently fell over the hotel balcony or something in Argentina, which is sad news, man. Very sad. 10,000 seat stadium in the Prem. Yeah, one thing I will say about Bournemouth is that stadium is good atmosphere. Any Arsenal fan gets an opportunity to ever go and watch a game away at Bournemouth, which is hard because they don't give you a lot of away tickets. It's a very good atmosphere down there. It's a real old school ground. You're right next to the pitch. It's a real good atmosphere. 10,000, it's small. It is good, I'll be honest. A good stadium, good vibe. So listen, good that these are back. I would imagine, looking ahead, Raya in goal. Raya did really well for Spain. Saliba, Gabriel. Um, I would imagine Calafiori, Timber, Ben White just coming back. Midfield, I reckon Partey, Rice, Trossard in the attacking midfield role. And then I would imagine Martinelli and Saka both had knocks during the international break. But we always say if Saka can walk, he'll play. And apparently he's recovering well. So somehow he'll squeeze Saka into the team. Maybe he won't risk Martinelli. Maybe he'll go Sterling on the left. And he came back later from international duty. So we'll see. We'll see. We should be beating them. Waneri won't start, man. Come on, he'll play against Preston in the Carabao Cup. Hopefully he gets minutes, though, off the bench. Matt said, I'm extremely concerned about Liverpool next weekend. They're quietly going about their business. I think they've only given up 2 or 3 goals. Listen, I don't like to look ahead too much, but I'm expecting back-to-back wins against Bournemouth and Shakhtar Donetsk. And I'm expecting them to be fairly straightforward, right? Anything can happen, and I might be sitting here having a meltdown if we're 1-0 down against Bournemouth or 1-0 down against Shakhtar Donetsk. That Liverpool game is absolutely massive. It's massive. I'm 50-50 with Liverpool, and I'll tell you why. Liverpool are dangerous because they've got a lot of know-how and experience. Salah, Trent, Robertson, Konate, Van Dijk. These guys have won multiple trophies. And they're solid. They've got the best defence in the Premier League. The one thing I'll say about Liverpool, and I'm not even being disrespectful to Man United, I'm being totally honest. I don't think Liverpool have played anybody good this season. And I'm including Man United in that because Man United are terrible at the moment. That doesn't mean Man United on the day can't give you problems, but Man United are bang average. I don't think Liverpool have played anybody that good. Now, don't get me wrong, they've defeated everybody that's been in front of them apart from Forest, who beat them. So I'm still looking at Liverpool thinking, you know what? New manager, you haven't really played any of the top teams yet. It might be a culture shock for them when they come to the Emirates for Arne Slot. Also remember that Alisson's out for 4 weeks. So Keller will be in goal. And Keller's nowhere near as good as Alisson. Alisson's probably the best goalkeeper in the Prem. We beat them at home last season. And, you know, Martinelli's got a very good record against Trent. So I am very cautious about that Liverpool game. They'll be dangerous. But I think we'll cause them a lot of problems. And I don't think this manager has had a game as difficult as Arsenal away yet in the Premier League. Man United played completely into Liverpool's hands and got absolutely annihilated. But I think we'll cause Liverpool a lot of problems. Also, Liverpool, we play on Tuesday night at home against Shakhtar. Liverpool play on Wednesday night away against RB Leipzig. Sesko and Openda and them, man. And obviously, Jurgen Klopp's just took over as head of football at the Red Bull Group. So the fact they play a day later, they're away from home, little bit of travelling. They play Chelsea this weekend. They've got 2 much more difficult games than we've got in the build-up to that Liverpool game. So, you know, you hope they're going to be a lot more tired, a lot more stressed going into that game. But yeah, listen, Odegaard's a huge miss for us. But we have done well without him. So we'll see how that one goes. Might do a watch-along for that Liverpool game. Liverpool-Leipzig. Have a bit of a closer look at Sesko and see what he's about against Van Dijk, who's still, you know, arguably the best centre-back. So we might do a watch-along for that. I might do a watch-along for the Chelsea-Liverpool game Sunday as well. People, listen, thank you very much for tuning in. Great support as always. Hit the like button. Let's get 1,000 likes. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We've got a few things coming up in the next week. I've had a quiet week on the channel. I've had a few meetings and stuff. So we're going to have some stuff. You're going to see some upgrades on the channel by next week. And a few things going on. We'll be back tomorrow. Press conference reaction tomorrow. Watch along on Saturday. And maybe we'll do the watch along on Sunday. Liverpool against Chelsea. we'll try and get a members stream in as well. So big up to everyone locked in. Thank you very much for tuning in. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and I will see you all tomorrow, people. Bless.